Nguyen! Come on, guys! Nguyen all the way! All the way!
Well, hello and welcome to the third session of the Pipiet Silat. We're at Hall 2 of the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre. Not the original venue, incidentally, for the Pipiet Silat. It was moved to this venue because of the available seats. The fact that there were more seats available for spectators in the convention centre. That seems to have been well attended, and indeed opportunities for Malaysian fans and indeed fans from all over Southeast Asia to gather in this second hall. So we prepare for a host of finals. We'll begin with the Class E Tanding final.
Reminder, keep your phone on silent.
Female category. Opportunity for Indonesia to claim another gold medal. And Indonesia and Malaysia will do battle. And later on we'll have fights in Class G and J. And Singapore have competitors in both those finals. For men, Mohamed Alfian will go against Vietnam's Nguyen Tuyen, and indeed Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi will go against Mohamed Khaizul bin Yaakob of Malaysia. So in this session there are 6 gold medal matches to play out on Arena 1 and Arena 2. We'll be bringing you the finals on Arena 1, which include those 2 finalists from Singapore, although there are 3 opportunities for Singapore to claim gold medals. Competition chairman who oversees all the proceedings. There are 5 jury members who will be tallying scores through scoring systems that will be looking for successful blocks, cuts, dropping techniques, attacks, counter-attacks with feet and hands, all the while adhering to various regulations. Technical delegates from all throughout the region who there we go, handbook for Tanding, which is the match element of Pipiet Silat. It's effectively the combat element, which sees 2 opponents go head to head. The Silat refers mainly to the combat element, and Pipiet more to the performance art, individual artistic merits that are marked down and tallied. So 2 very different elements to Pipiet Silat, which is a broad term that covers Indonesian traditional martial arts effectively. And depending on who you talk to, from Indonesia is where it mostly originated. There's anything from around 150 to over 1,000 different techniques that are practiced traditionally throughout mostly Java and Sumatra. Of course, its influence has grown significantly in the years since, but we're just about set for the opening final of this session. So 2 arenas that are being used. We will bring you the contest between Indonesia's Pipiet Kamelia and Siti Rahmah binti Mohamed Nasir of Malaysia.
Mohamed bin Khalid from Malaysia.
So confirmation, the start list is effectively 2 competitors going in red. In other words, fighting with a red sash will be Pipiet Kamelia of Indonesia. Siti Rahmah Mohamed Nasir of Malaysia will fight in blue. The venue filling up nicely for this final of 3 sessions on this day of competition. Got some of the heavier competitors in action as we draw to the conclusion of the Pencak Silat.
Kamelia from Indonesia.
Competitor from Indonesia will be fighting out of the red corner, Pipiet Kamelia.
Sudah bagi kategori kelas I Putri akhir arena 1.
And fighting in the blue corner will be Siti Rahmah binti Mohamed Nasir, a 30-year-old Malaysian, being warmly welcomed by the Malaysian supporters and indeed the partisan home crowd. This is female category Class E, so for fighters weighing between 65 and 70 kilograms.
And now winner, floor yours. Thank you.
All very traditional is the setup, but the Indonesian and Malaysian competitors readying themselves for this final. (10x10) area with an outer circle of 8 meters in diameter called the match ground, and the inner circle of 3 meters. Serves as a separating line. The referee jury council positioned and ready. So before the start, the referee and jury report to the competition chairman that they are ready to execute their duties. The athletes will perform various routines from the school's movements before returning to their corners ahead of the start of this contest. So not just about brute strength. Fellow Indonesian competitors hoping that there is an opportunity for the fighter to come out on top in this gold medal bout.
Match number 71, Wasit Razis. Jury 1, Blue from Tuyen. Jury 2, Mi Arong. Jury 3, Haji Asrul.
So the 5 jury members
Jury 5, Kim.
and the referee. Assume their positions and we'll score the fight individually for various methods of scoring, blocking to scoring by hand or foot, or by dropping the opponent, which is much favoured. The referee, tonight from Singapore, Mr. Abdul Aziz Mohamed Hussain.
Arena 1 and 2 calling for red corner.
So the competitor, or Silat, just form. A few of the school's movements.
Calling for blue corner.
We'll return to her corner. And then introduction for the Malaysian competitor, Siti Rahman binti Mohamed Nasir. So competitors or athletes referred to generally as Silat. Now this the gold medal bout, female category, class E, the Tanding of Pencak Silat. Referee goes through final instructions to the individuals. Jury members are ready. So too the competition chairman. And to begin. The scores will reflect the number of jury members that are scoring the bout in their favour. At the moment, will reflect as 0-0. Looking for a scoring blow. The referee will call them back to starting positions. 3 rounds of 2 minutes each. Depending on techniques, competitors can score in a number of ways. Aim for the body. Trying to score with a punch, clean punch. Well, only garner you 1 point. Successful block though, rather than the opponent's attempt to score or evading it and successfully countering will earn you more points. Always one more than for the actual scoring. Going for the good push kick here, the Indonesian. Does not register the point she desired. So, a little below the trunk. Competitors cannot kick to the groin, head. So a couple of successful blows by the Malaysian competitor. We've seen her ahead on the majority of the judges' scorecards, fighting out of the blue corner. Really combating one another's moves. Well, trying to go for the sweeping movement to drop her opponent. Won't go with a full sweeping movement, needs to try to latch onto the legs of the opponent and drop them. Blow to the mouth of the Indonesian competitor. Looked to be a deliberate punch toward the chest, which is perfectly legitimate. She catch her opponent on the lip. Well, the competitor needs to go to a neutral corner. Medical has been called, or just clipping her opponent, trying to go for the punch to the chest, but indeed she's caught her on the jaw. Violations can be sanctioned fairly harshly.
Boys from Arnatu, match number 74. Lee Se-kian from Vietnam.
And certainly it's not a valid scoring area.
From Malaysia.
standard attacking areas, the chest, the abdominal area, to the left and right ribs as well, and to the back, except for directly on the spine. Ready to continue. The referee is happy to assess the condition of the opponent.
Arena 1, represent 1 for blue corner.
So a good solid score. Knowing nod from the Malaysian competitor. This time Indonesia's Pipiet Kamelia with a fine scoring blow to the body. Successful attack with a foot. Score 2 points on the judges' cards. The score that is reflected is the number of jury members that are scoring that competitor as being in the lead. So that's the end of the opening round. Following the penalty for the Malaysian competitor for the strike to her opponent's jaw, albeit inadvertent, I believe.
Juma'en from Singapore. Please report blowing and checking now.
The Indonesian competitor currently front.
Untuk pertandingan yang 173, Silat, Nguyen Tuyen dari Vietnam dan Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en dari Singapura. Sila hadir ke sudut pemeriksaan dan timbang sekarang.
The judges' scores being displayed. Coaches are only allowed to speak to their competitors, to their athletes, to their pesilats in between rounds, in the 1 minute breaks between the 3 rounds of 2 minutes each. There are pauses throughout and various timeouts for every stoppage in the round. It's not a standard 2 minute running clock. Second round to get underway. Indonesia's Kamelia in the red, fighting with a blue sash. Malaysia's Siti Rahmah binti Mohamed Nasi. And there's a little more aggression, this time from the very start. Trying to score with kicks rather than punches. We'll try to go for the drop maneuver. Malaysian competitor currently in front on 5 of the jury scorecards. Good block maneuvers being executed by the Malaysian, and a drop maneuver as well. Indonesia being frustrated by some good explosive footwork from the Malaysian.
Arena 1, drop verification. Invalid drop.
We haven't seen any big drop maneuvers. We haven't seen any top scoring points either, with a successful evasion or a block followed by a counter-attack that's seen an opponent floored, but we have seen an opponent floored. One dropping moment. Trying to catch the opponent's leg. Nasi can catch her opponent's leg. Only need a little, after the catch, push down on the opponent's knee. And generally they drop. And that would be a fine 4 score. 1+3. Trying to go for the dropping maneuver again. And slide down, catch your opponent between the legs and bring them down to ground by jerking them off balance. A little low on the kick again, but looking to score with a kick to the trunk. Not too much evasive maneuvers being used by either one of the athletes. Not happy to go all out attack. Indonesia in the red sash, Malaysia in the blue sash. And the scoring maneuver fails. Competitors reset. The specific routine starts with fighting stances and then a step pattern. Trying to score with a maneuver and then back to a fighting stance or guard position. Much formality in the process of Untitled Silat. It's the second round of 3, 2 minutes each. Good stoppages for
drop verification.
every type of drop. Need 5 seconds, needs to drop her opponent. It's not going to count, no drop. Needed to do it quicker. Caught the leg, tried to push down on her opponent's knee and get her to the mat as quickly as possible. This mat is non-bouncy. It's a soft foam surface, so it won't hurt the competitors. It's also non-slip. Certainly has no bounce in it. Gong signals the end of the round. And so far, Malaysian competitor Siti Rahmah binti Mohamed Nasir leading on 4 of the jury's scorecards. Periods of aggressive attack from both of the competitors. The Malaysian has certainly had better form. He's tried a little more maneuvers as well. Good all-round technique. Successful takedown. So round 3, and the judges' scores being displayed. A roar of approval from the Malaysian fans here in Kuala Lumpur. Malaysian competitor leading by 4-1. Trying to take down and cannot successfully drop her opponent. Dropping techniques difficult to master, but does score with the initial strike. kick to the trunk.
Referendum 1 for red corner. Referendum 1 for blue corner. Point for Wasif and June.
So penalty points for both corners. Good aggressive approach. And going for the kick to the midriff. Just the body here is padded, but prevent the force of the blow. Dropping maneuver that is unsuccessful. Just anticipated wrong this time did Kamelia of Indonesia. Points in the red sash, currently trailing on all the jury's scorecards. So Malaysia's Siti Rahmah binti Mohamed leading the contest. Another drop maneuver that she tried to execute unsuccessfully. Penalty for that blow to the head. So various violations will be penalised by the juries. Competitors ready. Now they've been sent to their neutral corners. The chairman calls over the referee. So in the third round of this gold medal bout between Indonesia's Pipiet Kamelia and Siti Rahmah binti Mohamed Nasir of Malaysia. Fights in the blue sash. This is the Tanding, the match inspector pitch at Silat. The competition chairman is just deliberating on something. Now he's happy with the call. The juries are subsequently informed. Competitors may continue. Third round counts down. The Malaysian clearly in front on all the jury's cards. strikes to the limbs, inadvertent strikes are accepted as being part of the sport, as being a contact sport, a combat sport. Don't score with strikes to any part of the limb. Can be penalised for deliberate targeting of areas that are not scoring areas, parts of the body. A little step outside the ring. And the gong signals the end of the contest. So Malaysia,
and the winner is
fighting in the blue corner, Siti Rahmah binti Mohamed Nasir, winner on points, leading on all the jury scorecards. The Indonesian Pipiet Kamelia will take the silver medal in this female Class E for Pencak Silat. Formality at the conclusion of the bout as well. Good celebration for the Malaysian competitor. Out of a few holds and blocks. Tried a few drop maneuvers. And on this occasion took a foot to the head. Goal to Malaysia, opportunity to celebrate. Solid performance, maneuvers well executed for the most part. Managed to avoid the striking efforts of her opponent. The Silat from Malaysia is the champion.
Because right now we're gonna have from the red corner Nasi from Yaakob. Terima bagi kelas Hes Putra di arena 2 sudah kayu mari menghadap Mohamed from Malaysia.
draw attention to the arena number 1. On the red corner for the Class G, we have Nguyen Tuyen from Vietnam!
Now introducing the competitors for this gold medal bout. Male Class G, Nguyen Tuyen of Vietnam will fight out of the red corner.
Baiklah, kita teruskan lagi dengan kategori kelas G putra. Sudut biru, mari menghadap Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en from Singapore.
And fighting out of the blue corner, representing Singapore, Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en. Simply Mohamed Alfian. A competitor who we expect to claim the gold medal again. He's already won 2 golds in his 2 previous Southeast Asia Games. He says he's aiming to win 5 gold medals in 5 Southeast Asian Games. To take himself more than halfway there with the gold medal in this bout. This is the gold medal bout.
And that is, ladies and gentlemen, that is your male category for Class G and H.
Nguyen Tuyen of Vietnam fighting with the red sash against Mohamed Alfian of Singapore fights in the blue corner.
Kim, jury 4, Ni Arong, jury 5, Koko, calling for Wasi and jury.
Points from Arena 2. For match number 74.
The jury members and referee present themselves to the competition commissioner, competition chairman, confirm that they are ready to execute their duties. They will score the individuals. And whenever a competitor is in front on the judges' scorecard, it will reflect. There's a score between 0 and 5. So Mr. Azrul Afandi Sobri of Malaysia is the referee for this gold medal bout.
Arena 1 and 2, calling for red corner.
Introducing the competitor from the red corner who will perform school movements.
Arena 1
Nguyen Tuyen of Vietnam taking on Singapore's Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en, 2-time champion. The Silat, just 20 years old, 2-time gold medalist, looking to win 3rd gold medal at a 3rd attempt in Class G in this category for males. Final instructions from Mr. Azrul Afandi Sobri. And wishing one another well. So I'll assume their starting positions. Start with their on-guard positions. Head into the step pattern. They'll try to score points through a number of different ways. The main scoring ways: punching, kicking and dropping an opponent. Dropping an opponent with the most, 3, and immediately the Vietnamese contender trying to drop his opponent with a scissors lock around Nur Alfian's legs. Mohamed Nur Alfian with a smile. He's had his fair share of shin injuries down the years. In fact, he won his gold medal in 2015 despite a shin injury. He nearly caught his opponent's leg. So first round of 3. Rounds last 2 minutes each. The referee brings the combating moments to a stop. The clock is also stopped. The Vietnamese fighter, having scored for that kick on one jury's scorecard, sees himself leading by one jury's score to none. Still have the 4 judges with the scores even. A warning here from the referee to say you must engage. Still no engagement. Little watching here from Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en, just 20 years old. A man who's a regular to the podium. And again the referee. So penalty points here. It'll affect the overall scores, not the standings. From the juries, as 4 currently have the bout level and 1 in favour of the Vietnamese fighter. Nguyen changes his stance, has a slight reach advantage, a little taller than Alfian. Can't drop his opponent. Good solid stance, great balance. And he's battling to completely block his opponent's efforts. There's not a huge intensity or aggression from either one of these fighters. Mohamed Alfian of Singapore, trained by the legend himself, Sheik Alau'ddi, and his son, also a fighter for Singapore in Silat. Movement and in this very formal event, so not many scoring opportunities for either of the competitors. What you want to do, try to score. Just scoring one is by hitting the target with your hand. Successful strike. But at the moment, most of the judges have this fight scored at -1, with both having had points docked or twice not engaging when the referee has commanded. Solid balance. It's an attempt to claim 3 points by successfully flooring an opponent. If you use a successful dropping technique, the Silat will score 3 points. If, however, you can floor your opponent, well, there's a score. Well, one of the jury members has scored the Vietnamese fighter Nguyen for that initial kick, which the other 4 jury members did not believe landed. So, one jury has the Vietnamese fiiter in the lead, the other 4 all level. This is a gold medal bout in the male class G. 75 to 80 kilograms, round 2 to get underway. Starts with a gong. Is there more intensity to be had? They've both gone to the corners. They've both now been instructed by their corners on what they'd like to see. They need to engage. The referee is going to separate them unless they do, and he's going to be dishing out warnings again. They've already been docked points. Well, again, just says to the fighters, let's have a good clean fight and engage. See some fighting in this, the match aspect of Silat, the Tanding. Defending champion in the blue sash for Singapore, Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en against Nguyen Tuyen of Vietnam in the red sash. They need to engage. The referee is getting frustrated here, and he's pleading with the players, and another penalty point for both these fighters. So 4 of the judges, these fighters at negative points. All the judges, juries, have Mohamed Alfian at negative points. 1 has scored the Vietnamese fighter for a kick, so he's currently at 0 in that jury's scorecard. Looking for the strike to the chest, successful punch. Looking for a dropping technique, but it's unsuccessful. Just a sweeping motion by Mohamed Alfian. Gold in 2013 and 2015 as a teenager. Now as a 20-year-old. Being on the top tier of the podium again. Inviting his opponent to strike. This will be another warning. So, 2 penalty point deductions for failing to engage. This is the 5th time the referee has had to ask these 2 fighters to engage. And to draw one another in. And the mind games continue. The Vietnamese fighter is ahead on only one of the jury scorecards. It doesn't really matter how many points you make. Oh, did he connect with the face of the Vietnamese fighter? He's been sent to a neutral corner. And trying to score with a kick and might have done some damage to Nguyen. Medical attention is being called onto the mat. Vietnamese fighter trying to use the drop technique. And what he did was evaded the initial punch. And when he went down, trying to kick to the chest, he's in caught his opponent. The toe to the chin. Chairman wants to clarify one moment before the fight will get back underway. We're in round 2 of 3. The Vietnamese fighter has had medical attention. See to him. To look back at that moment again, clearly catching the jaw of the Vietnamese opponent. And marked down for that. And we'll have some work to do in the 3rd round to try to get himself into that gold medal position. Though the judges' scorecards, overall the juries still have this bout in favor of the Vietnamese fighter by 1-0. Very little scoring been seen, and a frustrated referee who's had to warn both fighters on 3 occasions with serious penalties for their consistent disobeying of his command to engage.
Arena 1, warning 1 for blue corner.
So warning to Singapore's Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en, which means the Vietnamese fighter is ahead on all judges' cards. All the jury's cards.
Drop verification. Invalid drop.
So if he is to claim victory, he has to turn it around with scoring on the back end of this fight. Had his opponent out of the ring. Nearly caught the leg and managed to drop his opponent. Got a scoring blow. Surely with a kick to the midriff. Successfully trying to attack the abdomen. Oh. Penalty point here to red corner. Going in for the scoring punch. This was the very beginning of the second round. His opponent then needed to score after the deduction of points. So, as the juries have it currently, only two have the Vietnamese fighter leading following that penalty point. And indeed, Singaporean needs to find a few more scoring opportunities. Bronze at the 15th World Championships for Singapore. Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi is his training partner. 2 golds and 2 SEA Games for this fighter. Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en. Medical. Tending to the finger of a man who's had his fair share of injuries. I remember him splitting the webbing on his feet during fights in the 2015 SEA Games. That needed medical attention on that occasion as well. He has said that he wants to draw more attention to Silat in Singapore. The country has the ability to produce great fighters. So, third final round of this Injat Silat. Good block by the Singaporean. Claiming it. At the moment though, juries have the Vietnamese fighter ahead, 4 of the 5.
Calling for Wasit and jury.
Arena
Forward as they go.
Draw verification. Invalid draw.
So reset to the on-guard position. One of the juries has scored for that last foray, and indeed Mohamed Alfian bin Jumain leads on one of the jury scorecards. Trying to claim for the punch. Looked to be a good block from the Vietnamese fighter. Another good block from the Singaporean. And that surely was initially a score. Looked to be a good push kick to the abdomen of his opponent. Might just need a successful dropping technique in the closing stages. He gets the leg, can't drop his opponent, and indeed he is dropped. Nguyen looking confident here. The scores are still very close. The juries currently have Nguyen in the gold medal position. Good, strong, clean balance. We've spoken about what a proud moment it was to stand on the top rung of the podium and hear his national anthem being played. He wants to have that feeling again after 2 golds and 2 SEA Games. There's Mohamed Alfian bin Jumain of Singapore, but he's up against a tenacious opponent. Very determined individual. Certainly shown some desires, certainly shown a great discipline as well, bar the initial infringements. Saw penalty points awarded to both claiming it here. The juries will award points at their own discretion, based on what they feel was a successful hit on the target. Time running out in the third round. Couldn't land the kick, out of the ring. Referee sending a push. Trying a dropping move late on. It's the quickest way to score. It's the biggest scoring point.
Arena 1, drop verification. Invalid drop.
So an invalid drop called. The claim, and it was successful. Mohamed bin Alfian bin Juma'en. Successful attack by hand, 1 point. Successful attack by foot, 2 points. Successful dropping technique is 3, and that's a successful dropping technique. And that might very well be the contest. Knowing nod from the Singaporean. The Vietnamese fighter is celebrating already. Tries another dropping technique. These two have been far more willing to engage in this third final round, going in for the kick. His opponent off his feet very quickly. Dropping to the floor again, going for a flooring technique. Just wants to drop his opponent as quickly as possible. And ahead now on all judges, juries' scorecards at the end of the third round following that successful drop. And disappointment for Singapore's Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en.
And the winner is...
But he congratulates his opponent regardless. But all 5 juries have the Vietnamese fighter on top, Nguyen, Tuyen, 23-year-old, who wins on points from Singapore's Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en. Gold in 2013, gold in 2015, a silver in 2017. He'll no doubt be back as a 22-year-old in 2019 to try to claim the gold medal again. Entertaining fight in the closing stages. And delight for Nguyen. Tried numerous dropping techniques, trying to floor his opponent. And then when he caught the leg, a successful takedown. Rather than try put pressure on the knee and drop his opponent in another way, he successfully caught hold of his leg, dropped him back down, got him off balance. He was going for these takedown techniques rather than try to score with successful kicks or punches. But following that one, the celebration was there. It was the closing stages of the third round. He knew that from that stage, not likely to lose, and indeed held on, leading on all 5 juries' scorecards come the end of this round. And the winner, male Class G, is Nguyen Tuyen of Vietnam. So next up on the mat is the Tanding Class J for males. Pencak Silat Tanding, the match or combat section.
I. In Arena 2, we have on the red corner, Nguyen from Vietnam.
Sudah bagi kategori kelas I Putra Arena 2 sudah biru. Mari menghadap Muhammad Sheik bin Juanda from Singapore. Suara daripada pelanggan ataupun arena 1 kelas J Putra akhir. Sudut merah, mari menghadap Muhammad Khaizul bin Yaakob from Malaysia.
Welcoming the fighters for this male Class J contest, Mohamed Khaizul bin Yaakob of Malaysia. Fight with a red sash out of the red corner.
And at the blue corner, let us welcome
Fighting out of the blue corner,
Sheik from Singapore.
Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi, just 19 years old. Class H bronze in 2015, but a man who comes from fighting stock. That's his father. A 4-time gold medalist. Here's his dad. Sheik Alau'ddi Yaakob Mariam. Now coaching both Mohamed Alfian bin Juma'en, who's a silver medalist in Class G, and indeed his son, 19-year-old. The two train together.
So sit back, enjoy.
Man who was crowned world champion in 2015 as a 17-year-old. Fight for Singapore in the blue. That is his opponent. There is 2015 world champion, 17-year-old, following a 3-2 win over the favourite from Vietnam, Quoc Hong, in the J class. So this is the Tanding Class J in Silat. Straight out contest between Mohamed Khaizul Yaakob of Malaysia and Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi of Singapore. Singapore's best ever Silat gold medal haul, twice achieved in 1999 and 2003, where 4 exponents, where 3 golds were achieved, but 4 exponents were involved in finals today. So far, no success in terms of gold. Referee
Arena 1 and 2
from Thailand, Ni Arong Samai. Introducing himself with some movement from his school, Mohamed Khaizul bin Yaakob of Malaysia, weighing in at 91 kilograms. In this Class J contest for athletes that weigh between 90 and 95 kilograms. The big, burly and robust Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi. Just going over final instructions. The athletes will be well familiar with them. The referee needs to go through the formality. And Silat, a sport that has been formalized. It's a traditional contest though, of Indonesian origin originally, going back to beyond the 13th century, and some say thousands of styles, others say over 150 are practiced in Indonesia alone, the spiritual home of Silat. Now a fiercely competitive sport all over Southeast Asia. Malaysia in red, Singapore in blue. Southeast Asian neighbours contesting this goal here. Malaysia claiming the kick to the midriff. And what you will see, what the score column is when the juries have awarded points to be a successful kick from a Singaporean, which will be valid for 2, good for 2. But the juries will decide at their own discretion what they value. Was that a successful catch, an effective blow? Again, you can see from the jury's scorecards, 1-1. They are scoring it differently. It's down to the jury's discretion. Currently scoring for those kicks is Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi, but it's still relatively close on those judges' scorecards. The Malaysian competitor trying to go for scores with the punch. This time his leg caught as he went in for the kick. Well caught. Very successful at trying to evade. Shows it again. The Singaporean competitor strikes back with a big blow to the midriff. Referee stops for a moment as the Malaysian competitor is out of the match area. And sash being tightened. Sheik Farhan Alau'ddi. All 5 of his other brothers and sisters, all 5 of his siblings are involved in some way or another with Penchat Silat. In fact, 2 of his siblings are also medalists in various competitions. He, having been crowned 2015 world champion, arguably the most successful in following in his father's footsteps. He was twice a world champion, 4 times SEA Games gold medalist, and remains his coach. The successful kicks that he's produced against his Malaysian opponent, he's registering more points, scoring. You score 1 punch, 1 for a punch successfully executed, and gong signaling the end of the round. 2 for a successful kick and 3 for a successful dropping technique. Neither one of these combatants, or Silats as they're called, have managed a successful dropping routine just yet. But plenty of successful kicks, although nearly dropped on that occasion. Good balance, very strong at his feet, and managing to avoid going down. That would have been a scoring blow for the Malaysian. Still down on the score of most of the juries. Some of the juries have the Singaporean Sheik Farhan significantly ahead, but he is leading on all the jury scorecards. Won by as much as 10 Another by as little as 2. Still 2 rounds to be contested. Slightly raised mat, non-bouncy, that is slightly cushioned. Non-slip for the competitors who fight barefoot. Inside this larger circle with a diameter of 8 meters. The two virtually grappling at the moment, immediately separated by the referee. The Thai referee in charge of this Tanding. Class J. Niarong Samai, Thailand. Competitors to engage now again. Again, good blocking mover, catches the leg, can't drop his opponent initially. And juries will validate that as a legitimate drop and being sent to their neutral corners. Well, the juries decide that it was a legitimate drop, validated by those judging. So it's not looking to be a successful contest for the Malaysian. Mohamed Khaizul bin Yaakob, 27-year-old, at the moment is trailing on the jury's cards. The Singaporean has taken the fight to his opponent. He's been a lot more composed. He's expended far less energy. He's been resolute in his defensive tactics, and he's managed to evade just about every attempt to score. He's done a little strike to the limb of his opponent, so Yaakob won't score with that kick to the leg of Sheik Farhan. Good blocking maneuver again, caught the foot. No score for limbs inadvertently being hit. No penalty either. If the violation is severe enough, there will be penalties. And there is an appeal from the Malaysian camp for a successful drop. Onto the leg, dropped to his feet and collapsed the leg of his opponent. But while he will score for that, he's still behind significantly on most of on all the jury's cards. Trying to turn around his fortunes with scoring strikes. Bear in mind, you get an additional point to every score if you manage to first block or evade an opponent's attempt to score himself. So, successful hit to the target by a hand, like that, punch to the chest, that'll score one at least for Singapore's Sheik Farhan. But if he manages to evade or block an attempt by his opponent to land a blow and then successfully launch a counter-attack, he gets an additional 1. Scoring by hand, 1 point. Scoring by foot, 2 points. Scoring by dropping technique, which both combatants, or Silat, have managed to so far achieve in this contest, will get you 3. But an additional 1 if it is serving as a counter-attack. The scores being tallied by the respective jurors, which are positioned in 5 places around the mat. The competition chairman, though, oversees this contest. This has been a very strong performance from Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi. The 19-year-old has showed great maturity beyond his years. And the gong that signals the end of the second round Glance up at the scoreboard. There's not a great deal separating these fighters currently after that great counter-attacking drop by the Malaysian fighter, but the good news for Singapore is that Sheik Farhan is leading on all the jury's cards. Grabbed the leg, tried to unsettle his opponent and land him with a drop. Initially unsuccessful, but the second time was able to floor his opponent. There's confirmations. 7-8 is how the first jury sees it. 7-9 the second, etc. Right the way through to jury number 4, who sees it 10-19 currently. So it's a close fight on a few of the jury's cards. With 1 round remaining, only 2 minutes for Malaysia's Mohamed Khaizul bin Yaakob to try to turn around the fortunes of what will be Singapore's Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi, who claims gold in the 2017 SEA Games. To go with the gold medal he won in the 2015 World Championships. On that occasion, he managed to beat the favourite from Vietnam as a 17-year-old. Sporting shake of hands before the onset of this third and final round in this gold medal bout in the male class J for fighters weighing between 90 and 95 kilograms. A successful strike from either one of the opponents here. Couldn't catch the leg. Either manages to score. Singapore have very good records at collecting regular gold medals in Silat over the years. Got his opponent into a lock. Need to engage. No warnings for failure to engage. Scored the kick to the ribs. The referee wants a word with both Silat. This is the third and final round, and currently the jurors have Singapore's Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi leading. All 5 have him in front. Just needs to maintain that position to claim gold. The remainder of what is a 2-minute round. The gold medal will be awarded to the Singaporean. And certainly while Singapore often battle with the likes of Malaysia and Indonesia, Thailand and Vietnam in the region for dominance in Pencak Silat, the sport is growing internationally, further afield from both Asia and around the world. Japan, France, Netherlands, Germany, they've all started to claim international titles. In fact, the Netherlands has hosted the World Championships previously. That's a great scoring shot. There's a claim here that he's caught his opponent. Can be penalised for a violation. Mouth guards aren't required. They can be used by competitors. Mouth guards aren't required. He's gone to a neutral corner and we'll have a little medical attention. Malaysian fighter Mohamed Khaizul bin Yaakob. Was there any contact with the chin or face? It's often difficult to confirm without the video replays. It looked like it was a fairly high strike. So just a little ice pack on the collarbone and the base of the neck. There'll be an opportunity as well for both fighters to take a bit of a breather. The intensity of Pencak Silat is something not to be underestimated. Athletes, competitors need to be able to fight for a full 5 minutes. Now, a little congregation here of the jury and the competition chairman.
Arena 2.
So no penalty. It was deemed a fair blow. And not a deliberate kick. Or an attempt to harm his opponent. No violation. We're still ahead on all the scorecards. The Malaysia needs some big scoring in the closing stages. Looking for a successful drop here. Claims it was a takedown. Singaporean is looking around almost dismissively. He's still ahead on all the jury's cards. But might not be if this is regarded as a successful takedown. Engage. Going in for the takedowns again. The Malaysian competitor is needing to leave it all out on this mat. A real test of stamina, endurance and tactics. Really highlights fighting spirit. Using various techniques and principles of Silat. There's a verification call from the juries. One jury member feels that it was a successful takedown. Well, the jurors will have to work out on their scorecards at the end of their respective rounds who is in front. Scores will be displayed for the wider audience. At the moment, both fighters being wiped down. Closing stages of the third round. Gold medal bout in the male class J. Penchat Silat Tanding. The match. Combat between the two fighters. The Singaporean coaching staff. They were individually coached by his father. Multiple international champion, twice world champion. And the Singaporean, his Malaysian competitor, ready to get the contest back underway. In several pauses for various verifications. As things stand though, that young man from Singapore set to claim the gold medal. He's just got to avoid being taken down and suddenly finding himself trailing on a few of the jury's scorecards. Built up a significant lead with a few scoring kicks and punches, particularly in the second round, which saw one jury have him as high as 9 points clear at the end of the second round. So the 5-0 you see is not a score for scoring points, but indeed it is an indication that all 5 jury members are currently scoring the fight in his favor. Malaysian in the red corner is not too far behind on 3 of the jury's cards, which means that any big scoring play in the closing stages of this third round will leave him potentially in the gold medal position. Various officials scrambling around. We'll report back to competition chair momentarily when the fight can continue. Competitors trying to stay limber. Trying to keep moving.
Match result.
Fight to continue. Just as they reset, competition chairman raises his hand and signals another pause.
Red corner winning by 0.50.
Competition chairman just calling over the referee. Mr. Niarong Samai, the referee, summoned by the competition chairman. Just going over to consult with one of the jury members, jury number 4. Just confirming with various jury members now on whatever was discussed with the competition chairman. And still, competition chairman does not want the fight to continue. Well, both competitors, while they're happy to take a breather, are finding themselves just trying to keep moving so they keep the muscles from cooling down. Don't want to be caught off guard in the closing stages of this third round. One 360 takedown from the Malaysian competitor could see him get himself sneaking ahead on the handful of the jury members' scorecards. But as it stands, Singapore is set for the gold medal. Each victory decision is made by each respective jury member scoring individually, and the winner must gain the majority of winning decisions from those jury members. Scoring blows there. The takedown. He claims it. That could very well be the fight. The moment still ahead on all 5 juries' cards. At his leg caught. Does he go down? And these two fighters showing some takedown maneuvers late on. Good balance from Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi. Final moments of the third round, and he's ahead on all 5 juries' cards. Can he hold on and claim this gold medal? Takedown maneuver unsuccessful by the Malaysian bin Yaakob. Just been asked to turn around. His protective armour is coming loose. The referee himself fastening it. Catches the leg, can't hold on for the full takedown. But did manage to avoid conceding 2 for a scoring kick. Trying to follow in the footsteps of his father, a 4-time SEA Games champion, is Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi, already a world champion. As far back as 2015, grabs the leg, goes for the takedown. It's not going to count. Plenty of stoppages, but at that, time is up, the gong is sounded, and Singapore have the gold medal in this male Class J category of the Pencak Silat Tanding. Well, the referee will announce it officially. But confirmation, Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi, already a world champion, is now a SEA Games champion and following in the footsteps of his father, a 4-time SEA Games champion and twice world champion. A winner on points on all 5 jury members' scorecards. 5-0. He claims the victory in this Class J final, the gold medal bout. And Singapore can celebrate another success in Pencak Silat. And they can chant Sheik Farhan bin Sheik Alau'ddi's name again. He'll be standing on the top rung of the medal podium shortly and listening to his national anthem. Great takedown maneuvers. Fantastic defense though throughout this fight. Real maturity for a man who's still a teenager. Plenty scoring blows. Was taken down on a few occasions. And there was real desire and determination from Mohamed Khaizul bin Yaakob of Malaysia in front of his home fans to win the gold. In the end though, he was up against a superior opponent.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it a shout out, give it a time. The show, the performance just now. No worries, I guess everybody's still very much not tired and exhausted from all the cheer. Not a problem at all, because it is coming toward the end of the day for the Tanding matches. We're going to start our victory ceremony very soon in a short while. So guys, please stay tuned for the victory ceremony, okay? I repeat, the victory ceremony will begin shortly.
Please, music please. Calling for team manager Tuyen. Please see our APD at secretarial table.
Semakin kubur bila bergema tahun yang berbitar, harapan bernyala nadiku berganda. Gemuruh jiwa semakin membara dari puncak hingga angkasa, bertarungkan bintang berkelipan menyamata udara.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing you, the medalists for the Class E category, Putri Tunggal.
This is the victory ceremony for female Class E.
Dan bagi pendengar majlis penyampaian hari ini, majlis yang segala hormatnya menjemput Serta mempersilakan Yang Mulia Puan Sri Raja Azizah Raja Haji Ahmad Shah untuk menyampaikan hadiah kepada pemenang. Majlis yang segala hormatnya mempersilakan. Dan dengan diiringi dengan yang berbahagia Datuk Hanifah binti Harun. Goes to Nguyen from Yaakob and Makam from Laos.
Joint bronze medalists, having both lost in semi-final competition against the runner-up and winner respectively. Tuyen of Vietnam received her bronze medal. Seating and mascot. And Parkampaloi of Laos, bronze.
Next was silver medalist, Pipiet, Kamelia from Indonesia.
Silver medal to Pipiet Kamelia of Indonesia in this female Class E. The gold medal and champion of the Penchat Silat Tanding Class E for females, Siti Rahmah binti Mohamed Nasir, 30-year-old Malaysian, celebrates a gold medal in front of her home fans. Fairly convincing victory. Champion champion of Kuala Lumpur 2017 in the women's Class E.
Of Malaysia. Give a round of applause to your medalists and champions.
At the National Aquatic Centre here in Kuala Lumpur, where we're just about to see the beginning of 3 finals, the beginning of a session which will include 3 finals, and they are synchronized diving, and there'll be some spectacular performances without doubt. The crowd here again is built up early, and they're going to give us that usual atmosphere that we've had here at the Aquatic Centre. No matter what the sport has been, from an aquatic point of view, it has been spectacular. The crowds have enjoyed it immensely. And with the Malaysian team, of course, doing so well in diving, have been the dominant nation at Southeast Asian Games for many years, it makes it even more raucous here. Just been a typical day really in Kuala Lumpur. No rain at all today, and 30 degrees. Very pleasant indeed. And indoors, and this is a semi-indoor pool with a fabulous roof, and just the areas above the seating which allow some breeze to creep in and make it very, very pleasant indeed. At each of the events, they've engaged public address announcers who get the crowd moving, keep them entertained, and get them ready to chant. Here's the program.